All right, welcome back to Hot Thoughts with Tay. And today's thought is, why are there so many THCA creators that you see or that you even hear about begging, right? So what this space, in my opinion, has created is, I'm going to jump right to fucking to it. What this space has created, it's created opportunity, right? There's millions of flower users throughout this country. There's millions of people who watch content about the plant, and there's millions of people who would love to get the plant for free, right? So I remember a couple of years ago when I started, and even before then, it was kind of like a unicorn. You had to put in the work. You would see the creators, they would be gaining, shit would be going up, then they'll start getting this shit sent. And now what I'm starting to realize, and I think this shit just happened maybe towards the end of last year, is there's a lot of people who have started creating content. This is not me talking shit on anybody, so please don't take this personal if you feel like I'm talking about you. But basically, there's been a lot of people in this space that, like, man, I'll see people with, and people gonna take it personal, but it's whatever. I see, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I see people with 200, 100 subs, making content about the flower, and not just contacting these companies. This video is going to be a little awkward. I think this is one that's going to do good, but not just being like so. All right, I'll put you guys on. Normally in this space, in any space, I'm starting to realize where you're doing content creation and you're working with brands, right? And you want to collab with brands. You email them. It's like any business. You feel what I'm saying? You email them, your business proposition. They email you back. Maybe y'all can work. Maybe in the future. Maybe not right now is the right moment, right? But what I'm realizing what these guys will do is like they'll harass them. And some people have been exposed on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. If you're watching this, you might have even seen one of these unfold. I heard on Twitter between somebody was asking the guy Be Easy, and everybody knows Be Easy if you're in the space. If you don't, do your research. Somebody was asking the guy Be Easy, he kept asking him for bud, and everybody in the space, and they just exposed him, kicked him off of Twitter. This is what I heard. It might be a myth, it might be a story, I don't know. But this is the shit I heard that's like going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not in no space to like really have a problem with the people that's doing it. I'm just speaking on what's going on. You know what I mean? So you got these content creators now, like I said, very low following, which means very minimal work has been put in. So what does that say? Like I said, it's getting oversaturated. Right now, we're at the point as THC. And another thing, that let's just put this out there, right? I think I'm speaking for all of us. It's kind of like a thin line right now between, and I think they are separate. I think they are separate. They're completely separate. But then again, there's like this thin line where there's a difference between a THCA creator and just a cannabis content creator, right? I think the just cannabis content creator is kind of like leaving us because THCA has become so, prominent in the game. And even our leading cannabis content creators are owning THCA businesses, vendors, websites, and they're the ones providing us as THCA content creators a platform. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like when an artist, like a big artist, gets their own record label, and now they just made other big artists. It's kind of like that's what's going on, but it's oversaturated. And I'm telling you, only few gonna make it, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest, and that's not me hating. Even without the ban, I really feel like it's just the numbers don't lie. Like, history repeats itself, man. You gotta rinse and recycle. Especially once shit gets too oversaturated. The same thing happening with streaming right now. You know what I mean? Only a few is gonna make it out of the crumble in the storm. And I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but I am saying that I realize what's going on. And a lot of the people I think that's just starting are in it. They don't realize what's going on. So yeah, they just, a lot of them just starting to think is using it as just a way to get free green. And I think a lot of the good creators, they didn't start for that reason. Like, I didn't start to get free bud. I was paying for my shit and reviewing. You know what I'm saying? That's the struggle. You got people now, like, they'll come out the gate, nigga, just start their fucking account and be asking people for free bud. So, you know, it kind of gets to a weird space, but like I said, what goes up must come down. Eventually, this shit, the oversaturation, will have to have consequences, and those consequences will be, you know, motherfuckers won't be around for too long. You know what I mean? I like, it's kind of real weird. And it's worse on Instagram, on YouTube. YouTube kind of exposes you. You know what I'm saying? If you're like getting in it without putting in the work, and I'm not. Like I said, I just want to keep repeating this. I'm not coming at anybody, so don't nobody take it personal. I'm pretty sure if you're a person watching this and you feel like all these things hit the marker on you, you can relate and you can just listen and, like, you know, see what's on everybody else's mind. Because I'm telling you, this is definitely what most, you know, people been thinking. But like I said, YouTube exposes you. YouTube doesn't allow for the shenanigans. If you're not putting in the work on YouTube, if you're not making good content, if you're not doing it for the love of it, YouTube will expose you. Instagram and X, those are two different platforms. Those platforms is where you'll really see the begging. It gets bad, man, but I don't want to talk about it too long. We've been on here for about 8 minutes. I didn't want this to be too long of a video, so we probably cut it down. But yeah, that's it, man. High thoughts with Tay. Like, why are there so much THCA content creators begging? Like, they're begging at this point. They're begging. You're never gonna catch me begging. Yeah. Begging? Nah, B. Nah. Get it together. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. It's been nice. I'll catch you motherfuckers on the next one.